Dear students, in this lecture, in this video, we will talk about a problem on DIT FFT, dissemination in time. FFT stands for fast Fourier transform. So what we are going to do is we will solve this problem using a diagram that is called butterfly diagram. This thing is also given in your book, but it is for the beginners. This diagram is a little bit difficult uh, to understand at the first place. So I would suggest you to understand this one or try to focus on the process, step by step process. If something is not understood, you can ask me. Feel free to ask your questions. So without talking further, let's get into the problem straight. Let's say we are given with a series or a sequence. You see, let's say x of n is given and the values are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it may happen that sometimes in this sequence, some random values will be given. As you can see, how many elements or how many points do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Altogether there are 8 points. So you can say from the question paper, it is evident that it's a 8-point DFT. Okay, so it's a 8-point DFT problem. And the method that we are going to use to solve it is called butterfly diagram, or sometimes it is called as butterfly method as well. What is the first step now? So I guess you all are familiar with the position or indexes. I guess you all are familiar with index. So as you can see, let's write down this thing once again: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. This thing is given x of n, this one is given, fine. So if we try to figure out the indexes of this one, as there is no arrow mark given in this one, so we can assume that the arrow mark is given somewhere here. There is an invisible arrow mark, and x of 0 should start from this place. This is x of 0, this one is x of 1, this position is x of 2, this is x of 3, this position is x of 4, this one is x of 5, this is x of 6, and this is x of 7. So these are all the indexes that we have. Our first task is to divide the even portions and the odd portions. Okay, so what do you understand by this? Our first task is to find out, or is to divide the whole sequence, all the elements into even and odd positions, you can say even. So even positions, and let's write odd positions. So in even positions we have, it starts off with x of 0, then we have x of 2, then we have x of 4, and finally we have x of 6, right? Isn't it? This one is an even position because it's x of 0. This is an even position. Then we have x of 2, x of 4, x of 6. These are the even indexes, or you can say even positions, whatever you call it. Now let's write down the values of these positions. At x of 0 we have 0, at x of 2 we have 2, at x of 4 we have 4, at x of 6 in this case we have 6. Fine. What about the odd positions? In odd positions we have x of 1, then we have x of 3, then we have x of 5, finally we have x of 7. These are indexes, or these are, you can say, odd positions. These are positions but not the values. So let's write down the values also. At x of 1 we have 1, at x of 3 we have 3, at x of 5 we have 5, at x of 7 we have 7. Done. So we have divided the even positions and the odd positions. Once we have done this, we again need to rearrange this. Some sort of rearrangement is needed. So let's write down rearranging even positions. So we have x of 0, x of 2, x of 4, then we have x of 6, and the values are 0, 2, 4 and 6. Fine. What sort of rearrangement we are going to do? Observe very carefully. This 0, after 0 we have to write down 4, and then this 2 comes in. After 2 we need to write down 6. Why we have written in this manner, you will get your answer in a while. But now just remember that we are doing some sort of rearrangement. This position will be written at the very first. After writing this value, we have to write down this 4. After that, this 2 will come into play, and once we have written that 2, we need to write down 6. So this part is, I guess you have understood this part. Even positions. Now let's rearrange the odd positions or odd indexes as well. So rearranging odd positions. Fine. So we have x of 1, x of 3, x of 5 and x of 7. So these are the values we have. So 1, 3, 5 and 7. So again, if we try to rearrange, this 1 comes into play at the very first case. After 1 we have to write down this. You see, we are keeping one place vacant, and we can say tagging this 1 with 5. After writing down 1 we have to write down 5. Then this 3 comes into play. After writing down 3 we have to write down 7. So I guess some of you are getting confused, but your doubt will go away when we will draw the butterfly diagram. Now, as you can see, I told you that it's a 8-point DFT. It has total 8 elements. As it had 8 elements, we need to draw in total 8 lines. Okay, so as I was telling that it's a 8-point DFT, so altogether there will be 8 lines. If you don't understand what are these lines, don't panic. I will draw this. Once I draw this, you will get to know. Don't panic at all. So as there are 8 elements, it's 8-point DFT. First we need to draw 8 lines. So let's draw the lines. First line, straight. There will be 8 straight lines. Line number 1. Then we have this. Line number 2. Line number 3. Line number 4. Line number 5, line number 6, line number 7, and we have finally line number 8. Okay, so now in the top left corner or the leftmost positions, these vacant spaces should be filled up with these values. So that's why we have rearranged those values. So now please look at this one. First we need to fill this first position with this 0 or x of 0. See this 0 we have to write. Okay, Then after 0, I told you that after 0 we need to write this 4. So this 4 comes in here, that this in the second line. 4. Fine. Then I told you once we have written 0 and 4, the next value is 2, this one. So this 2 goes into the third line. 2. Fine. Then after 2 we have to write down 6, where? In the fourth line. So let's write down this value here, this 6. Okay. So we have written down the even values. So once we are done with the even values, our next task is to write down the odd values as well. So then we have, for the odd values, we have to start off with this 1. So 1 goes here after 6, underneath 6. So 1 goes here. After 1, we need to write 5. So that's why I'm writing 5 here. So once we have written down this 1 and 5 pair, we have to start off with this 3 underneath that one. So we have written down this 3. After 3, we have to write down this 7. You see, I have written down this 7. Fine. This is done. This part is done. So as I was telling you that it's a 8-point DFT, that's why we have written down, or we have drawn 8 lines, and it will have the 2-point DFT part, the 4-point DFT part, and in the final segment it will have a 8-point DFT part as well. Do you remember the 2-point DFT? In 2-point DFT we used to draw a line right like this. You remember that? So in the same manner we have to write down, you can say it should be divided into 3 chunks or 3 segments. First segment, we will be computing the 2-point DFT. In the middle portion, we will be computing the 4-point DFT, and the final part will be used for computing the 8-point DFT. So 2-point DFT is comparatively easier, just drawing the lines in this manner. I hope you remember this one from the previous lecture. So once we have drawn a line like this, we need to keep one line vacant and start from this one again, like this. Fine. We keep another line vacant and then start like this. Again keeping one line vacant and then start from this. It goes like this, right? And in between we have to write down this -1 here, -1 here, -1 here, and -1 here. Why is that? You can say it's a multiplication factor. Fine. It is called a multiplication factor. So the segment that is for 2-point DFT is done. Now we have to get into or move into the 4-point DFT part. So 4-point DFT is kind of similar to the 2-point DFT, but the main dissimilarity, let's write it down first, then I will explain. So we have to draw a line like this. We start from this position. We need to keep one space vacant like this and go underneath that one and take the next line like this and then draw this. Okay, same goes for the next line. Here we need to keep one line vacant, means this one we need to keep vacant, and we have to draw a line. You see, we are starting from this line, keeping one vacant line in between, and then going to the next line and then drawing a straight line like this. Fine. So same goes for this side as well. Starting from this one, keep a vacant space or vacant line, keep this as it is, go to the next one and draw a line like this. Same goes for this as well, keep this vacant and go here. Fine. And is there anything else we need to remember from this thing? Here we have to put in a -1. Here also we need to put in a -1. So same thing, this drawing has to be done once again, but we have to keep one space vacant here. So this space, you see, this line in between should be kept vacant. We start from this, keeping one line vacant, and then jumping onto this line. Do it in the same manner. Then again doing it in the same manner. So same goes for this one as well. Keeping one line vacant, and then this. Same goes for this one as well. Keeping one line vacant, and then this. So in between, here -1, here -1. What is this -1? This -1 is called a Tweedle factor. Not Tweedle factor, it's called a multiplication factor, not Tweedle factor. Okay, and Tweedle factor is here. I missed this one, but it's a good practice to write it. W2 to the power 0 1. We can say it is called Tweedle factor. Remember this one, W2 to the power 0 is equal to 1, or it's just getting multiplied together. Okay, here also we need to write. Even if you don't write for 2-point DFT, you will get the same answer, no problem. But for 4-point and 8-point, you have to write, it's a must. So W2 to the power 0 1. Here you need to write in this line where this -1 is getting multiplied. You have to write W4 to the power 0 is 1, and W4 to the power 1 is, observe very carefully, this W4 to the power 1 is -j. So this will be a little bit problematic for you at the first place, but don't get panicked. Just remember this one. So here also W4 to the power 0 is written as 1, and here W4 to the power 1 is written as -j. Done. So the 4-point DFT part is also shown. I mean, the segments have already been divided into 2-point DFT part and 4-point DFT part. Done. Now that we have done the 4-point DFT segment as well, our next task is to draw similar kind of lines for 8-point DFT part. At the very beginning, it may sound a little bit weird, or it may seem a little bit difficult for you, but as time passes by, once you practice this one, it won't be this much difficult, I can assure you that. So for the 8-point DFT section or segment, again we start from this line. Unlike these two, we keep 3 lines vacant in between. This line, this line, this line, 3 lines vacant, and then we go to the 4th line like this. Okay, so now we draw a line like this. Same goes for this as well, keeping 3 lines vacant, 1 line, 2 line, 3 line. Go underneath this one and draw a line like this. Then again we start from this, keep 3 lines vacant, 1 line, 2 line, 3 line. Go here and draw a line like this. Are we doing it the right way? So sometimes it is, you can say it's a duty for us to cross check whether we are going it the right way or not. As we have kept 3 spaces or 3 lines vacant in all the places, so we are going in the right direction, heading towards the right direction. Then again start from this, keeping 3 lines vacant, 1 line vacant, 2 line, 3 line, and you go here, draw a line again like this. What about this? We start from this, keep 3 lines vacant, 1, 2, 3, go to the 4th line here, draw like this. Same goes for this one as well. We go here and this here, this. Now minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. What are these? You don't have to understand right away, but these are, you can say, multiplication factor like the previous ones. So we have to write minus 1 here, minus 1, minus 1, and minus 1. Another thing I have missed out, that is the twiddle factor. We have to write down the twiddle factor somewhere here. It's a 8-point DFT, so W8 to the power 0 is 1. W8 to the power 1 is, so now there is a problem. W8 to the power 1 is how much? Can you tell? This is 1 minus j, 1 minus j over root 2. So this value you need to remember. Okay. W8 to the power 1. Then we have, in this line we have W8 to the power 2, that is minus j, minus j. Finally, in this line we have W8 to the power 3, that is minus 1 plus j over 2. Minus 1 plus j over root 2. Fine. Is it okay? I hope so. So now that we have segmented or created 3 segments for 2-point DFT, 4-point DFT, 8-point DFT, you don't have to, these values W8 to the power 0, W8 to the power 1, W8 to the power 2, these values are called twiddle factor. You need to memorize these values. Same goes for this one as well. You need to memorize this one as well. Fine. Same goes for this as well. So now let's try to figure out how it works and what are the final answer to this problem. So as you can see, in this line 0 comes here, fine, and it goes where? Can you tell? Can you tell how this thing is working actually? This is actually working in, so I will tell you to figure this thing out. Try to figure this one out. So as you can see, there is a cross or there is a zigzag, correct? There is a zigzag in this place. So as you can see, in this one, this 0 goes straight here, and from this place plus 4 is getting added. Here you see this 4 goes here and goes here and goes like this. So this 0 goes straight and then gets added with this 4 in this line. So we will have 4 here. What about this place? At this position, what we will have? We are having the 0 comes like this, and the 0 should be added with 4 comes in this place, and it gets multiplied with minus 1. 4 multiplied with minus 1 gives us minus 4. So 0 minus 4 gives us minus 4. Right? So this is how we get the value here. So same goes for this one as well. This 2 getting added with 6 gives us 8. But what about this line? This 2 and 6 comes here, getting multiplied with minus 1 gives us minus 6. 2 minus 6 gives us minus 4. Right. So in the same manner, we will have 1 plus 5 in this line, that gives us 6. And in this line 1 minus 5, that gives us minus 4. Same goes for this one as well. 3 plus 7 gives us 10. 3 minus 7 gives us a value of minus 4. So the 2-point DFT part is done. Next step is to go through the 4-point DFT section. So as you can see here, this 4 goes as an input. At this position, if we try to figure out, this 4 should be added with which one? 4 should be, this 4 comes in here, and in this point we have this, right? At this line, from this line, this 1 is getting added, so we will be having, is it okay, or have I done a mistake here? Can you tell? Is there anything that I'm missing out? Is this problem okay? Not really. If you observe carefully, you see this 4 comes straight. You need to remember one thing. One value should be coming from the straight path, another value should be added with the value, and it should come from the curved path. From the straight path we are getting 4 as an input, one input. Another input is coming from this curved path. In this curved path we have 8 as an input, so 8 comes here. You see this 8 getting multiplied with the twiddle factor 1. 8 multiplied with 1 gives us 8, and then it goes on top of this one. It climbs the hill and then it gets added together. So 4 plus 8 gives us a value of 12. What about this line? In this line we will have minus 4, and it should be added with, you see, minus 4 in this line. From the curved path we have minus 4 multiplied with minus j, that gives us minus 4 minus j gives us plus 4j. So plus 4j, right? This is how we get this value. What about the next portion? In this line, from the straight path we have a value of 8 getting multiplied with minus 1 gives us minus 8. Fine. And from the curved path we have this 4 coming in. So minus 8 plus 4 gives us a value of minus 4. Fine. What about this line? In this line we will be having, from the straight path we have minus, from the straight path we have this minus 4, minus j gives us plus 4j, plus 4j getting multiplied again with, you see, this is also a multiplication, kind of multiplication factor. This is also a kind of multiplication factor. Minus 4 getting multiplied with minus j gives us plus 4j. Plus 4j getting multiplied with minus 1 gives us minus 4j once again. So we have to write down minus 4j. There should be another value from the curved path, that is this one, minus 4. Fine. So we have minus 4, we have minus 4 minus 4j. What about this line? This line will have a value of, this 6 comes in the straight path. 6 should be added with 10, right? 10 getting multiplied with 1 gives us 10. So 6 plus 10 should be giving us a value of 16. Fine. 16, that's the value. What about this line? From the straight path we will be having -4, and from the curved path we have -4 minus j, that gives us +4j. What about this line? What about this line? This line, from the straight path we will have 10 multiplied with 1 gives us 10, then multiplying with -1 gives us -10, and from the curved path we will be having +6. That gives us a final value of -4. Fine. So these are the bracketed values, are the final values, you can say. Bracketed values are the final values that we have. What about the last one? If we calculate, we will get a value of -4 minus 4j. Now things become a little bit complex. What we will have in this place? As you can see from the straight path, this 12 acts as an input. It goes through this one. So 12 should be added with which one? Another value that is coming from the curved path, that is 16. 16 getting multiplied with 1. So 16 is a 16 plus 12 gives us a value of 28. What about this one? From the curved path we have -4 plus 4j. Fine. Sorry, from the straight path, and from the curved path we have a value of -4 plus 4j. So that gives us a value of how much? Can you tell what is the value in this case? What should be the value in this case? This the line we are talking about. We are interested in this line. So you try to figure it on your own. What about? I will keep this as your assignment. Try to figure out this value. I'm skipping this one. Let's get into the third line. In the third line we have -4 coming from the straight path. There will be another value coming from the curved path, that is this one. So here, as you can see, we have this -4 getting multiplied with -j gives us +4j. Fine, +4j, and then it climbs on the hill and the value will be -4 plus 4j. Okay, I hope this is understood. If not, I would suggest you to solve it out on your own. So this portion, this part is not that difficult, but I will give you some sort of hint. As you can see from the straight path, we will have this box. I'm solving it here. This box. As you can see from the straight path, we are having a value of -4 plus 4j. This should be added with which. So now that we have discussed the segments of 2-point DFT and 4-point DFT, now it's our turn to turn our focus to 8-point DFT. As you can see here, this portion is responsible for solving the 8-point DFT part. So as you can see, I have written down a result over here. So as you can see, this 12 is coming from this line. So this 12 will be added with this 12, goes into the straight line, and from the curved path we have this 16. The 12 plus 16 added together gives us a result of 28. Fine. What about this one? This minus 4 plus 4j goes here, and from the curved path we have this value. Which value? This value. Minus 4 plus 4j. This part is a little bit difficult, I should say. As you can see, this minus 4 is getting multiplied with the twiddle factor, that is 1 minus j over root 2. Then again it's getting not getting multiplied, this getting multiplied together, and after coming to this place it climbs the ladder, it goes in this direction, and then it gets added together. If I show you this box, the solution of this box, here you can write from the straight path we are getting minus 4 plus 4j, addition, then add this value, that is minus 4 plus 4j multiplied with 1 minus j over root 2. Fine, this is the answer that we will be having in this box. So I suggest you to do the calculation, the remaining part, the remaining calculation, try to do it on your own, but I'm just writing down the final answer. After solving this, adding this with this will give you a result of minus 4 plus 9.65 j. So this is what I got after solving it out. You try to solve this on your own and then try to find out whether you are getting the same answer or not. Okay, so same goes for this box as well. I'm not going to write down the answer, but I will give you some hint. As you can see, from the straight path we will have minus 4 minus 4j, and from the curved path we have this value. Which value? Minus 4 minus 4j, that is getting multiplied with minus into 1 plus j over root 2. Multiplication, then it gets added with the straight path's value, that is minus 4 minus 4j. So after solving it out, the final answer that we will have here is minus 4 plus 1.65j. This is what I found. If you have any other value, feel free to let me know. Try to solve it on your own. Okay, I have mentioned the process. Now it's your turn to multiply these two together, and after multiplying you need to add this value with this one, and then try to figure out the final answer. What about this line? This line, as you can see, we are getting 16 from the straight path, and there should be another value from the curved path, that is this line, right? So 16 should be, is it 16? There is a catch. In this case there is a catch. As you can see, this 16 is coming in the straight path, fine, but then it gets multiplied with this minus 1, right? So minus 16 plus 12 gives us a value of minus 4, right? This is the answer to this line. So two more lines remaining, not two exactly, 3 more lines, this line, and this line. What about the value of this one, this value? Can you tell what is the value of this line? And what about this and this? Can you tell? So without even solving all the values, you can directly tell the rest of the values. I will now show you a trick of telling what should be the value in these 3 places. Let me write down the answer first, then I will tell you the trick. In this place, we will have a value of minus 4 minus 1.65 g. Do you find any resemblance or do you find any similarity with this result from any other result? Do you find any similarity between this value and any other value? If not, I will explain in a while. This value, this line will have a value of minus 4 minus 4g, and the final line will have a value of minus 4 minus 9.65 g. How we got this? We got this using, there is a thing called, are you familiar with the term complex conjugate? We are actually getting the value like this. In the second line we have this, right? In the second line we had minus 4 plus 9.65 j. So this should be, not enough space is there, so it is getting a little bit hazy. So this line should match with the second line, should match with the last line. You see, in the second line we have minus 4 plus 9.65 j, but in the very last line we have minus 4 minus 9.65 j. So the only difference is, in the imaginary part we are just tweaking the sign, we are just changing the imaginary part's sign. We had a plus sign here, that plus is just replaced with a minus sign, everything else is remaining the same. What about this one? The third line, this one corresponds to the second last line. Second last line is this one, right? Third line had a value of minus 4 plus 4j. So though the second last line is having a value of minus 4 minus 4j. So okay, so the final thing that we need to discuss is this value. As you can see, there is a similarity between different values. So without even solving all the values, you can tell what should be the final answer of each line. So what I'm trying to tell is, if you are able to find out first 4 or 5 answers, automatically you can figure out the rest of the answers as well. So as you can see, this line, this minus 4 minus 1.65 j, has a similarity with which one? This one, right? Minus 4 plus 1.65 j. So in this manner you can solve this problem on a 8-point DFT. So I hope you have understood this problem. If something is not understood, feel free to let me know, and in the next video we will talk about another topic. Till then, stay safe and take care.